Hello everyone, my name is Hem Kumari, working as a Vice Principal in Sarvodaya Nursing Institute, Faridabad. Today I am going to tell about you female pelvis. As you know, female pelvis is a very important part of skeletal system, and from the practical point of view it is very important topic in your midwifery subjects. So what is female pelvis? The pelvis is a basin-like structure which connects the spine to lower limbs. It is an important part of the skeletal system, and from the obstetrical standpoint, it is useful to consider the bony pelvis as a whole rather than separately. Next, I am going to tell about you types of pelvis. So types of pelvis, pelvis is of total 4 types of pelvis: gynecoid pelvis, anthropoid pelvis, android pelvis, and platyploid pelvis. Gynecoid pelvis. It is commonly known as the female pelvis because that types occur most frequently in women, and 50% of women have this type of pelvis. It is most suitable for childbirth. It has wider brim, ischial spines are blunt, and the subpubic angle is 90 degree. Next is anthropoid pelvis. It favors a posterior position of the fetus, oval in shape. The transverse diameter is shorter, seen in tall women with narrow shoulder, and it is found in 25% of cases. Android pelvis. It is commonly known as male pelvis because it occurs more frequently in male. Heart-shaped brim. It has having heart-shaped brim. Anterior posterior diameter is shorter. Transverse diameter is wider, and childbirth is very difficult in this type of pelvis. Then platyploid pelvis. This is a flat pelvis. This type of pelvis is rare. Its shape is kidney shape. Brim and anterior posterior diameter is smaller. Transverse diameter is wider and not conducive to vaginal delivery. It means it is not suitable for vaginal delivery. These are the normal variants. Then functions of pelvis. The primary function of pelvic girdle is to allow movement of the body, especially walking and running. It permits the person to sit and kneel down. The woman pelvis is adapted to childbearing, and because of its increased width and round brim, women are less speedy than the men. The pelvis transmits the weight of the trunk to the legs, acting as a bridge between the femur. The pelvis affords protection to the pelvic organ and to a lesser extent to the abdominal content. It means it protects the pelvic organ as well as the abdominal organ. Then bones of female pelvis. For descriptive purposes, an articulated pelvis is composed of 4 bones, 2 innominate bones, 1 sacrum and 1 coccyx. Innominate bones. Each innominate bone is composed of 3 parts: ilium, ischium and pubis. Ilium, ischium and pubis. The ilium. Ilium is the larger flared out part. The upper border is iliac crust. At the front of the iliac crust can be felt at a bony prominence known as the anterior superior iliac spine. A shorter distance below it is the anterior inferior iliac spine. This one is anterior superior iliac spine. This one is anterior inferior iliac spine. There are 2 similar points at the end of the iliac crust, namely the posterior superior and the posterior inferior iliac spine. The concave anterior surface of the ilium is known as iliac fossa. Ischium. Ischium is a thicker lower part. It has a large prominence known as the ischial tuberosity, on which the body rests when we are sitting. Behind and a little above the tuberosity is an inward projection that is known as ischial spine. This one is ischial tuberosity and this one is ischial spine. So these are the parts of ischium. Pubic bone. This bone forms the anterior part of the pelvis. The superior ramus and the pubis have superior ramus and inferior ramus. The two pubic bones meet at the symphysis pubis, and this joint is called symphysis pubis joint, and the 2 inferior rami form the pubic arc. The superior ramus form the symphysis pubis joint and the inferior rami form the pubic arc. This one is pubic arc. The space enclosed by the body of the pubic bone, the rami and the ischium, is called the obturator foramen. This one is obturator foramen. The next one is sacrum. Sacrum. The sacrum is a wedge-shaped bone consisting of 5 fused vertebrae. The upper border of the first sacral vertebra just forwarded and known as the sacral promontory. Laterally, the sacrum extends into a wing or ala. So this one is sacral promontory and these are ala. This one are ala. Coccyx. It consists of 4 fused vertebrae forming a smaller triangular bone with its base uppermost articulating with the lower end of the sacrum. During labor, it moves backward and having more space for the delivery of the fetus. This is called nodding, and this forms a triangular shape. Pelvic joint. What is joint? Where two bones joint with each other is called joints. So in pelvis there are total 4 pelvic joints, 2 sacroiliac joints, 1 symphysis pubis joint and 1 sacrococcygeal joint. Then ligaments. What is ligaments? Where pelvic bones are held together with ligaments, means attachment of bone to bone is called ligaments. So there are total 5 ligaments. First one, sacroiliac ligament, then pubic ligament, sacrotuberous ligament, sacrospinous ligament and sacrococcygeal ligament. Then true pelvis and false pelvis. In obstetrical point of view, it is very important to know about the true pelvis and false pelvis. As you can see in this picture, false pelvis and true pelvis. This one is false pelvis and this one is true pelvis. False pelvis. This false pelvis is formed by the iliac portion of the innominate bones, and is limited above by the iliac crust. It has got little obstetrical significance except that its measurement can to a certain extent. The size configuration of the true pelvis, its only obstetrical function is to support the enlarged uterus during pregnancy. The boundaries of false pelvis are in anteriorly abdominal wall, posteriorly lumbar vertebra and laterally the iliac fossa. True pelvis. True pelvis, for descriptive purposes, it is divided into inlet, cavity and outlet. This one is inlet or brim, this one is cavity or this one is outlet. Inlet. This part of the pelvis is chiefly of concern to the obstetrician. It is form the canal through which the fetus has to pass. It is shallow in front, formed by symphysis pubis and measure about 4 cm and deep posteriorly, formed by the sacrum and the coccyx and measure about 11.5 cm. Then the pelvic brim or inlet. It is formed by the sacrum posteriorly, the pubic bones anteriorly and the iliac bones laterally. At the posteriorly sacrum, anteriorly pubic bones or laterally iliac bones. It is almost rounded in shape. Anterior posterior diameter is being the shortest. Its boundary has the sacral promontory, wings, the sacrum behind the iliac bones on the sides and the pubic bone in front. Landmarks of the brim. What are the landmarks of a inlet, cavity, inlet or brim? The first one is symphysis pubis, the joint, symphysis pubis joint. Second one, pubic crust, pubic tubercle, pectineal line, pubic or iliopectineal eminence. The next one, iliopectineal line, sacroiliac joint or anterior border of the sacrum. This is wings or ala. Then sacral promontory. Diameters of the inlet. Diameters of the brim, there are total 3 diameters: anterior posterior diameters, transverse diameters and oblique diameters. Anterior posterior diameters. It is a line from the sacral promontory to the upper border of symphysis pubis. And this diameter is of again 3 types: diagonal conjugate, obstacle conjugate and anatomical conjugate. Diagonal conjugate. Diameter means distance between two landmarks. So diagonal conjugate, the distance between lower border of symphysis pubis, to midpoint of the sacral promontory, it is around 12 to 13 centimeter. Then obstacle conjugate, it is distance between mid of point of the sacral promontory to the prominent bony projection in mid of the line of symphysis pubis, and its measurement is about 11 centimeter. Then anatomical conjugate, it extends from the sacral promontory to the upper border of the symphysis pubis, and its normal measurement is about 12 centimeter or more. Then transverse diameter, it is the distance between the two farthest point of the pelvic brim over the iliopectineal lines. Its normal measurement is 13.5 centimeter. This one is transverse diameter. Then oblique diameter, it starts from the sacroiliac joint to the opposite iliopubic eminence, and its normal measurement is 12.5 centimeter or 12.75 centimeter. This one is anterior posterior diameter, this one is transverse diameter, and this one is oblique diameter. The pelvic cavity, the boundaries of which are mid or cavity, the boundaries of which are the roof is the plane of pelvic brim, the floor is the plane of pelvic dimension, anteriorly the shorter symphysis pubis and posteriorly the longer sacrum. All diameters are measure about 12 centimeter because it is circular in shape. Pelvic outlet, it consists of two outlets: obstacle outlet and anatomical outlet. Obstacle outlet and anatomical outlet. Obstacle outlet, it is the segment of the pelvis bounded above by the plane of least pelvic dimensions and below by the anatomical outlet. The diameters of obstacle outlet, as we know, we have discussed about 3 diameters: transverse diameter, anterior posterior diameters and posterior sagittal. Transverse diameter, between two ischial spine. Bispinous diameter, it is the distance between the tip of the two ischial spine, it is about 10.5 centimeter. Anterior posterior diameter, it extends from the inferior border of the symphysis pubis to the tip of the sacrum. Then posterior sagittal, it is the distance between the tip of the sacrum and the midpoint of the bispinous diameter. This one. Anatomical outlet, it is otherwise known as bony outlet. It is bounded in front by the lower border of symphysis pubis, laterally by ischial tuberosities and sacrotuberous ligament, posterior by the tip of the coccyx. Thus, it consists of two triangle planes with a common base formed by line joining of the ischial tuberosities. The apex of the anterior triangle is formed by the inferior border of the pubic arc and that of the posterior triangle by the tip of the coccyx. The diameters of anatomical outlet, antero-posterior, it extends from the lower border of the symphysis pubis to the tip of the coccyx. This one, tip of the coccyx, or its measure about 13 centimeter. Transverse diameter between intertuberous, it measure between the inner border of ischial tuberosities. Then posterior sagittal diameter 8.5 centimeter. It is the anterior posterior distance between the sacrococcygeal joint and the midpoint of transverse diameter of outlet. Then these are the diameters of female pelvis. Diameters, brim, cavity and outlet. तो एंटीरियर पोस्टीरियर डायमीटर इज ऑफ ब्रिम इज 10.8 सेंटीमीटर, oblique diameter 12 centimeter, transverse diameter 13 centimeter. Cavity, all diameters are in 12 centimeter in measurements. Outlet, the anterior posterior diameter is 13 centimeter. Then mid oblique diameter is 12 centimeter and transverse diameter is 10.5 centimeter. Thank you. So today I am going to summarize the female pelvis. Today we have discussed about the types of pelvis, functions of pelvis, then bones of pelvis, joints and ligaments of pelvis, landmarks of pelvis, and about the diameters of inlet cavity, mid cavity and outlet cavity.
चलो जी हो गया कन्वर्टिंग वाला ना वो कन्वर्ट होगा अपने आप।
मैंने स्टॉप कर दिया वीडियो, स्टार्ट कर दिया, देखो क्या करना है यहाँ पे।